Okay, so we're sitting here at the finish of the Molokai race, and I'm just talking with Nani. So, Nani, congrats, you finished first, right?
Oh,
You finished first in the women's wing foil division.
Yes.
So tell us about the race. How was the start this morning, and just the race and everything, and the finish?
Probably today was my best start in any of the races so far.
Yay.
So super stoked that it was like super clear, very understandable. Got up pretty quickly. I did try to let some of the SUP foilers get out, and then I just got up on foil pretty easily with that longer. I've got an essential 5'10", 58 liter board.
Oh yeah,
17
so that
inches,
really helped you get up quickly, right? Because it's a
so
longer.
easy, like right away. As soon as I just kind of stood up on the board, waited for the other guys to pass by, and waited for that gust of wind, and poof, I was up and going. And gosh, I saw a bunch of people just pull out as far as wing foiling. Pretty sure it was Finn, you, Bobo. Saw you out in front of me. So it was nice. I was a little indecisive about which line to take. A couple other crossings that we had done, there was definitely a current that would pull us north. So I thought if I kind of stuck to a southerly course, it might help me just keep a straighter line. But I feel like there was definitely more wind, a little bit more north. And
today was more north, you thought?
I think the wind, there was just more wind further north. A little bit stronger wind. And I had done this with the M2M, which was kind of take a straight line across, follow the wind, and then from the Kamalo buoy I went straight downwind, and that really helped. And I was sort of debating on whether to do that, meaning come in higher up at Cocoa Crater, but I took the other route. It wasn't so bad.
More direct.
I did have a couple goals. I was hoping to beat the 2-hour mark. I was 10 minutes behind that, but it was still an amazing race. I actually saw a lot of marine wildlife. I got to see dolphins out there, and I had a seabird that came and was just cruising around me, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and a lot of flying fish too in the water today, right? Like I saw so many flying fish. Yeah, they're just flying everywhere.
Yeah.
That's cool. Nice. So, did you feel like the wind got lighter in the middle of the channel, or like?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. There were probably two sections. Right at the start was good. We were really lucky that the wind was kind of filled in at the beach, and it's offshore winds, but the wind was pretty decent for, I think, everybody to get up on foil pretty quickly. Yeah. But I would say maybe about a third of the way in, it got really light. Swells did pick up a little bit, so that was nice. So I did mainly a lot of pumping. Pump the wing, pump the board, pump the foil, try to get more speed, go down the bumps. And then maybe mid-channel there was a little puff of wind, and then again another section afterwards where it got really light. And jibing was almost like, wow, definitely pay attention for texture and make sure you jibe on the right section. So.
Yeah, and make sure you don't get backwinded with the wing and stuff like that too.
Oh yeah.
Because you're going faster than the wind a lot of times, yeah. So if you get the wing in front of you, it's like,
oh yeah,
that's not good, right?
On a couple other runs, actually when we went to around the corner at Elio Point yesterday, I had an explosion where the wingtip just caught, and that's usually when we're going downwind with the waves. The wing tends to kind of drop down in front of you, and because we're going as fast as the wind at that point. So I was really wary about that today. So trying not to crash due to wingtip touching and yeah.
And what was your strategy to get like the best downwind angle? Like, because I think especially at the end, you had to really try to go downwind as hard as you can, right? Like, because the wind was light, so to have enough pressure in the wing, you had to kind of crisscross a little bit. But obviously, you want to try to go as straight as you can towards the finish, right? So
I did. So actually, that's why I took such a southerly route. I think some friends who were watching through the GPS had texted friend that was on the boat with me on my escort boat and was saying, she's going too south. But that was my thought, was to take that southerly course so that I would kind of avoid ADs, Sandy's, Hanauma Bay, where you do have to go straight downwind. And I think coming in at a lower angle in towards Portlock would allow you to keep sheeted in on the wing. But I could still feel that reverb off of the cliffs. I don't know if that was pushing me away a bit. I did feel like there was a little bit of, almost like I was on a treadmill, even though I was sheeted in.
The current was northerly, like the current was pulling north, right?
Yeah, so, definitely.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It was really, I thought it was hard to get downwind. It was hard to get south, you know?
Where did you come in at? Did you come point in higher, so up by Coco?
Yeah, in the middle of the channel, I tried to jibe a few times to go a little bit more downwind. And then I thought it looked windier towards Oahu, so I'm like, I'm just gonna get closer. And then it did seem like the bumps were better closer to China walls, you know. So then I was able to kind of ride, and I still had to jibe a few times, but it felt a little bit easier to go downwind there. And in the middle of the channel, I felt like I was kind of struggling to get anywhere, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
But it just seems that way too. It's kind of an illusion because the island's still so far away, and it's like, I didn't get any closer, you know. I drove like 2 times, what happened?
Yeah, I definitely had long straight lines riding hillside, which, you know, for me, that's always an advantage for any rider.
Yeah.
I know you ride switch stance, but...
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So like, I think a lot of the top finishers were all natural goofy footers, right? And you're a natural goofy footer too, right?
Yeah.
So that really helps, especially if you don't switch your stance. And I know Alan Cadiz, who I came in right behind Alan because we were I almost had him at the end, and then I fell and the wing got light, and then I couldn't get going right away, and then he passed me again.
Is he a natural goofy footer?
He's not, but and he says he flies faster when he's, you know, in his natural sense and regular. But today I saw him riding in, you know, he switched his feet to the other side, and you can do that, you know, and when you're flying that long, I think that really helps to be able to switch your feet. And so it's something for me that I need to learn to do that.
Yeah, my back foot was getting a little numb.
Yeah.
You don't switch stance?
No, I don't switch my feet.
Oh gosh, okay, I thought you did.
No, I should be, and I think it would help. But no, I just have 2 foot straps in the same position. I don't have 3 foot straps.
I see.
Yeah. But so your new board worked out well then? Yeah, you're happy with that?
It was fantastic. Even I did crash once, probably mid-channel, which actually it ended up being good because I was feeling like I was overheating. Surprisingly, you know, a couple people were asking me this. You know, wow, it must be kind of cold when I'm like, no, you're working so hard, or at least I feel like I'm working really hard, pumping, whether it's the sail or the foil, and you definitely are heating up. So when I crashed, it was like, oh, that felt so good to get in the water. But that board, which I had actually tested an Essential 7-foot downwind SUP foil board in the Kaiwi channel a couple weeks ago, and that's why I decided on that particular shape. The bigger board, though, was really challenging for me to get up in the chop, especially out in the middle of the Kaiwi channel. But this board that I have today, that 510 17-inch and, 58 liters, it's so fast, really narrow, and touch the water, get right up. When I crashed and had to get up, I was up like that. Maybe I would say it took me 20 seconds at the most to get up. So.
Yeah, and my board worked really well too. I have a board that's similar. Well, it's 5'8", or is it 5'10"? It's 5'10" by 21.
Okay.
So it's short, narrow, and just kind of easy to take off on, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not so big and long that it kind of catches in the tail or in the nose or whatever.
Yes.
So some of the really long boards, it feels like, it's sometimes hard to fit it into the wave, into the curves.
Well, the other idea was that, like, the kind of downwind SUP foil style board, like the one that I have for the race, was just, I was hoping that we were going to get much steeper swells, stronger wind. I love that challenge, more so than light wind, but I definitely feel like that smooths out those steep bumps, and you're able to stay on foil without breaching on the steeper bumps.
What foil were you using?
I was on the F1 690 today.
690?
With the triple XS fuse and the downwind 210 tail.
And what was your the mast length that you used?
Oh, mast length was 85.
It's a pretty long mast. Yeah, but not super.
I have yet to try 90 or 95, but I know. How long is the mast that you're using?
Mine is like 102 or something like that. Yeah, over
That's almost my height.
Yeah. I wonder if that has to do with it. Yeah, but I still felt like 4 or 5 times, something like that, just breaching and stuff, but I don't know.
Do you get to look at your stats and see how fast you're going or what your top speeds were?
I still have to trim it, like, because I started like 5 minutes before and then ended it after I finished and stuff like that, so that's it. I'm not sure, but I think it's about 20 miles an hour or something like that. 20 miles an hour.
Awesome.
It was a super fun race today. For me, it was cool to do it on a wing foil board for the first time in under 2 hours versus, like, I've done it like 10 times on a stand-up paddleboard, and it always took me like, the fastest time was 5.5 hours, so
Wow.
to do it that quick
difference.
and without feeling super exhausted and tired the next few weeks, the next day for sure. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. But I'm thinking actually I might do it again on a stand-up paddleboard just for the challenge.
Really?
At some point. I think I want to do it.
I
again.
will say, I watched
I don't know why,
those
it's kinda
paddlers
crazy.
today,
Yeah.
and it's really admirable. It's got to be super tough and very challenging.
But yeah, the speeds we're moving at with the foil is just like so much faster, you know. So yeah, I don't know. In a way, it's kind of going backwards to go back to a stand-up paddleboard, but who knows? Maybe I'll do that next year. So yeah, thanks for the interview.
Oh, thank
And,
you. And
congratulations.
congratulations. You did so well.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
It's awesome. All right. Thanks, Nani. Thanks for watching.
Phew.